Is Frankie de Jong worth it at Manchester United? Well, the spoiler is yes, so you'd have to watch the rest of this video. But I mean, he's just such an intelligent footballer, and having watched that Palace game yesterday, it's clear Man United are going to be playing out from the back this season. I mean, it was obvious anyway, but they're doing it already without fear. But, you know, there were a few times where they got it right, they scored from it, but there were a few times where, you know, the touch maybe from McTominay or Fred, and you could see that pass was there. The position of the team was correct, but that pass didn't come from McTominay or from Fred. And with Fred, I think there's a bit more potential for him to fit into the system in that position. With McTominay, I think he needs more time with Ten Hag. That's why I think they want this short-term fix, which would be De Jong, perfect player for it. As you can see in these clips, he's just good at getting back like that as well, but you know, that's not his game. His game is that first touch and pass out into another player from that number 6 position. Every team seems to have one now because it's such an important position. If you're being pressed, if you've got someone that's press resistant and can get it out to more dangerous players really quickly and can I mean, Man United used to have two of the best in Carrick and Scholes at the same time, you know, really. So they've not really replaced Scholes or Carrick, in my opinion, in the type of midfielders that they've had since those two left, which is crazy to say because, I mean, it's such an important position in modern football, but maybe that is such a reason why they've failed in recent times. No protection for that defence. Matic did an okay job when he first came, but I think after a while it was just clear that his best days were just behind him, and he just really didn't have the energy to drive forward, or I don't know. He was kind of very, very cautious player, Matic. But in his early days at Chelsea, he had a season, didn't he, when they won the league, where he was everywhere. Really, you could not get past him some days at all. But I think there's a lot of work for him to do on his own when he was playing there for Man United. You've got to be able to be the heartbeat of the team, like a Jorginho or a Thiago or something. You've got to have that about you. You've got to, like Scholes did. You've got to be able to move into those areas in front of you, whilst also knowing what's behind you. So I think it'll be a great signing if he can get it done. If not, I don't know whether they'll go in for someone else or they'll just try and mould Fred into that type of player or give somebody else a chance. James Garner is still at the club. I don't think he's had any minutes yet, which is a bit of a shame because having watched him a few times when Forest were on TV last year in the Championship, he's a really good player. He's got a bit more bite about him than any other United midfielder, I would say, even than De Jong if De Jong came in. But he's got the drive to get forward as well. He likes to play dangerous balls. I think it'd be worth giving him a shot and just instead of McTominay some games. McTominay is a pretty average player in my opinion. I think he's got room for improvement. But it shows when you put him in a team like this, and you know if that pass isn't right, it's really easy to spot where the system is breaking when you have a system like this. Because McTominay on paper, some games last year might have, you might look and think, whoa, 85% or 90% pass completion, most passes in the game, but there's no risk in the pass. He's trying to get the ball under control, and then he just wants to pass it and get it. That's his game, and to teach what he needs takes time. So I think De Jong, as you can see in the clips, driving forward, knows when to pass. He's really intelligent, Busquets-esque, who he's still going strong, to be fair, isn't he? De Jong, will he or won't he? It's been a long transfer saga, sort of not as long as Sancho or Fernandes, but I don't know what it is about Man United and just dragging these things out. What are they waiting for? With this one, there's the wages issue with Frenkie de Jong, but the thing is as well, de Jong has said he wants to stay at Barca multiple times, so I'm thinking they're just obviously keen for him. I know that, but do they know something that people don't? Is De Jong just saying that? Why would United still be knocking at the door when a guy has come out and said, "No, I don't want to leave"? It might be because of the wages issue. De Jong wants that money, and if he declares that he wants to leave, maybe the Barcelona are in a better position legally or something if it came down to that. But I do actually want to see De Jong in the Premier League. I think he'd be good at this team. Remember, you've got Eriksen to come into this team, you've got Martinez to come into this team. United have got a pretty decent spine now. Mistake from De Gea in the latest game, but get him out of the way in pre-season. He'll have much more confidence, De Gea, with that defence in front of him once it starts playing, and hopefully they get a few clean sheets. I think the right back is probably still an issue, actually. Not seen Wan-Bissaka much in pre-season. Dalot has been good at the top end of the pitch, but I just think it's still an area. I'm not convinced by either yet, but it's still very early, isn't it? So yeah, Man United shaping up well. If I was a United fan, I would be excited by this pre-season. Really, there's a lot to look forward to, and you've still got Ronaldo as well if he comes in. I mean, you might want to keep him on the bench and not disrupt that front three, because they were really in sync yesterday, and with Ronaldo you don't get that type of movement across as a three. When they all move around together, kind of like ironically Ronaldo, Rooney and Tevez did. In a way, you couldn't keep track of them, and as soon as you tried to follow one, that's when the other one would move into the space. And it was good to see. And I think Sancho is going to have a massive season. I think Martial, if he wants it, it's there. He's so talented. I mean, but his consistency, isn't it, with him? So yeah, we'll see. And looking forward to the start of the season.